Hello and welcome to this first episode of Diagnostics. I'm Michael Brown. In this series of interviews, I'll be speaking to some experienced and fascinating figures in the world of advertising research, hoping to pick their brains and to discover which are the best methodologies towards measuring video creative. In other words, trying to find out how to tell a great TV ad. For this first interview, I'm here at the global headquarters of a company called Unruly. Unruly are in the business of making videos go viral and of creating experiences that bring together consumers and brands through social video. And it seems they're doing a very good job of it too. In fact, just last week, the Wall Street Journal reported a 23% increase in revenues year on year for 2014. Namely, I'm joined today by IAN FORRESTER, who's Insight Director here at Unruly. So, Ian, how are you?
I'm very well, Michael. How are you doing?
Very well, thank you. Thanks for making time, Ian. I think for our first question, it'd be great to find out a little bit about what Unruly does in your perspective.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. So, Unruly is an online video distribution company. So, essentially, we take content from our clients and we ensure that a particular target demographic sees that content online. Also, an important part of our business is the insight side. So, you may be aware of the viral video chart. So that's really Unruly's heritage, its history.
Yeah.
We created the viral video chart to see what's trending at the moment. So consumers can go on there and they can see what are the most shared videos in the last week or last month or last year or whatever it might be. But having created that website, brands started to come to us and say, okay, that's fine, I can see my content is placing at the top of the viral video chart, which is brilliant, but what is it about that content that made it perform in that way?
Yeah.
And that's when we started thinking, okay, well, what is the secret of viral success? How can we unpick what's good about the strong videos and make sure that brands can repeat that success? And on the basis of that, we've created a product called ShareRank.
Yeah.
So that's our content testing tool, which we can use to test the virality or shareability of a piece of content.
Yeah.
And that, a lot of the work that we put into ShareRank and a lot of the work we do with different academic institutions to test various hypotheses as to the key drivers of shareability, that's what's going to inform my opinions that I'm going to give you today.
Yeah, okay. So Ian, for this second question, could you please tell us what your very favourite ad is, so TV ad or video ad?
So this is a really hard question, given the fact that I watch video all day, every day.
Yeah.
And there are so many great videos and so many different videos as well, videos which are great in different ways, but I think probably my favourite video of all time, if I had to choose one, would be the epic split by Volkswagen, featuring Jean-Claude Van Damme. Now, that is a great video because it evokes some really intense emotional responses. So we found within ShareRank that a key driver of shareability for online video is that evocation of intense emotional responses. And that video does that really, really well. So you're aware of the video. Jean-Claude Van Damme doing the splits on a couple of Volvo trucks, going backwards. Now, that video evokes intense amazement, intense surprise, also intense warmth for the fact that Jean-Claude Van Damme is talking about the fact that he's had many ups and downs in his life, so you feel great empathy towards him. Nostalgia as well. People remember the classic movies where he's famed for doing the splits. So it works emotionally on a lot of different levels. But the great thing about that video, from a brand point of view, is that it really gets across the key brand message, which is these Volvo trucks can reverse in such a straight line that Jean-Claude Van Damme is able to do the splits and not fall off to his death. So not only does it have that intense evocation of emotional responses, but it's also getting across that product message, which is absolutely key. A lot of videos we see are lovely, beautiful stories, but they don't always have a strong product message contained within the video. That one definitely does.
Cool.
Which is why it's my number one.
Excellent, thank you. Ian, for our next question, we'd love you to take a look at this ad and then share some thoughts on it. So this is an ad for KLM, which is currently doing really well in the Unruly viral video chart, and we'll be really keen to get your thoughts on it and why you think it's gone viral.
Ja, ontzettend leuk. Persoonlijk vind ik hem gewoon een aanwinst voor het bedrijf. En hij kan ook echt iets wat niemand anders kan.
Ons primaire doel is om gevonden voorwerpen zo snel mogelijk terug te brengen naar de eigenaar. We houden daarvoor social media in de gaten en de crew die na elke vlucht het vliegtuig checkt. Ik vind het ook wel heel erg leuk dat we natuurlijk een beetje hulp daarbij krijgen.
Trainen op spierkracht, uithoudingsvermogen en socialiseren. Zo. Ja, en als je die reacties ziet, dan is dat eigenlijk wel heel mooi.
Hij komt regelmatig langs, maar ja, ik moet ook eerlijk bekennen, ik verwen hem ook wel.
Mind your step. Mind your step.
Ian, thanks very much for watching the ad. What are your thoughts on why it's proven a particularly effective piece of creative?
Well, it's a lovely piece of content. From my point of view, it's evoking intense feelings of warmth, happiness. It's obviously a cute dog. Returning lost items to their owners, you know, it's always going to have nice feelings of warmth in there.
Yeah.
The fact that he's giving stuff to kids as well, so it's not just, you know, adults whose stuff he's finding, but he returns a little soft toy to a child, that kind of brings a bit of added cuteness to it.
Yeah.
So, nice emotional responses. It also has a nice product message in there as well.
Yeah.
So I think it's really well branded. So it's obviously a KLM ad, and the fact that they are going big on returning people's lost items to them is a really nice message. I think it's well delivered in a very shareable way. Personally, I might question the use of the dog in that sense though, because I could be wrong, but I doubt they really have dogs returning lost things to the thing's owners in like kind of a real-time setting in an airport. I might be wrong, but you know, that I can imagine certain viewers thinking, well, actually, is this happening? You know, is this the main technique that they're using to get my stuff back?
Yes.
In which case, what if I've left the airport? What if I don't like dogs? Or if I'm allergic and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah.
I don't think that's the point of the video,
Yeah.
and I can see what the point is, but I would caution KLM against. They should be aware that some people might have that reaction to the video.
Cool, thank you. So Ian, for our very final question, what would you say is the best methodology to measure video creative?
So fairly obviously I'm going to say ShareRank is the best way to measure video creative. But the reasons I would give for that are that with ShareRank we're measuring what's called valuable virality.
Yeah, okay.
So ShareRank is not just about measuring the shareability of a piece of content.
Yeah.
Because it's possible to create a really shareable piece of content which gets shared and viewed across the world, but if no one understands that your brand made that content and no one attributes that content to your brand, then kind of what's the point? For a commercial video, you have to have a brand message aligned with the shareability of that content. So that's what ShareRank does. It measures shareability. It does so by measuring the intensity of emotional responses and the strength of the product message. Also, we've got metrics in there like brand recall, purchase intent to find out more, which speak to the strength of the brand message coming through as well. Because when you put those two things together, that's your social sweet spot.
And methodologically and at a high level, could you tell us a little bit about how it works?
Yeah, absolutely. So in terms of shareability, We have worked with a number of different academic institutions to test various hypotheses as to the key drivers of shareability.
Yeah.
So we work with Ehrenberg Bass, we've done some work with Harvard, with Stanford, with Wharton, Cass Business School. And essentially we've determined that there are two key drivers of shareability: psychological response to the content and social motivations to share. So psychological response is a system one response, in the words of Daniel Kahneman. It's an automatic response. So you watch an ad and you feel an emotion or a number of emotions at a certain intensity. That's not something you can control. That's a key driver of shareability.
Yeah.
But another key driver, or what we call social motivations to share, that's a system 2 response, and that involves more of a thought process. I would share this video because. So the example I like to give here is one of a puppy rescue centre. So you can imagine a video for a puppy rescue centre, and there are lots of puppies sitting around in cages waiting to be rehomed.
Yeah.
Now, lots of people are going to watch that video and they'll see the puppies and they'll feel intense warmth. So they'll think, oh, they're so cute. But different members of the audience are going to share that video for different and more personal reasons.
Yes.
So perhaps I'm a dog lover and I know other people who love dogs. I'm going to share that video with them to connect about our shared love of dogs.
Yeah.
So that's what we call shared passion. Or perhaps I want to ask other people's opinions about why these dogs find themselves in this horrible situation. That'll be sharing for reasons of opinion seeking. Or perhaps I want to try and do a good thing and help the puppies get rehomed. That'll be sharing for reasons of social good. It's for a good cause. So we advise brands when they're creating video to think about both of those two elements. Think about the psychological responses, which are best aligned with your core brand values and best tell your brand story, and evoke those as intensely as possible in as many of the audience as possible. But also think about your social motivations and think about briefing your creative agency based on eliciting those 10 key social motivations which we've identified. Because if you start the creative process in that mindset, then you're much more likely to have a really strong social video at the end of it.
Excellent, thank you. Thanks very much, Ian, that's all.
You're welcome. Thanks, Michael.